Today on the channel, just in time for Halloween, one of my absolute all-time favorite characters from Mondo, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Mondo unboxing and review. And today, the wait is over. We got the Creature from the Black Lagoon. But for all your Creature from the Black Lagoon needs, I guess eBay. But for everything else under the sun, hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there. And not sure if Jay's is going to get this one or not. They do get some Mondo stuff over there. However, once again, a timed exclusive. Once upon a time, here we are, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. Not sure what it's been. Maybe a year at this point. What is time? What is money, it seems like. But the Creature was one I knew I had to jump in on. Had to get this Creature from the Black Lagoon figure. It's some of the non-Masters of the Universe stuff I ordered once upon a time. We just unboxed the Nada Roddy Piper not too long ago. Obviously, the Masters of the Universe stuff. But I've had to dial back my Mondo collecting. I hate to do it, but price hikes across the board are getting into everybody. And that was one easy one. I could cut out a few of the key pieces. And I really do count X-Men 97 as key pieces, but can't collect it all. But it did save some money by doing that, as you can imagine. But you can also imagine how we're going to do this review. We're going to do it like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And perfect for the Halloween season is the Creature from the Black Lagoon, the last Universal monster, and my favorite Universal monster. I'm a big fan of the cryptozoological creatures, the Bigfoots, the Yetis, the Chupacabras, you name it. And I like the Gilman. Feels like he could have been one of those along the way. So a very cool one, a very cool story arc. I don't know when he started walking on the land. I don't know if that got a little bit jump on the shark maybe. But I do like this episode of the Creature here. Looking very, very good. Now, Mondo has released the Creature in the past, so a bit of a re-release with a twist with some added exclusives. And I never had the old version, so I'm very happy to have this one in my collection. So let's dive into it. Let's take a look at the packaging. Packaging phenomenal on this one. And maybe they didn't show it before, but I don't remember the packaging planning to look like this. But I'm here for it. It's very cool. You can see the Creature swimming there. Very dark and kind of spooky is what the packaging is. Now, much bigger than your traditional Mondo box, as you can see here. Very dark in the darkness, a little bit of a light glow there, but very cool. But you wouldn't really know what's inside this packaging just looking at this. Obviously, if you know it's the Creature, it's the Creature. It looks really cool, but it doesn't just jump in your face. Creature from the Black Lagoon. But it does look very, very nice. And I have to imagine, we know a lot of Universal Monster collectors. This is probably going to hold its value pretty well in the future. Now, nothing on the side here. Nothing on the side here. We do get some credits on the back. No blurb, nothing like that. But on the inside, it does open up here. Of course, the power of magnets compel us for the Creature. A big, thick deluxe box right there. And we do open up to the usual protected figure here. Of course, you can't really see anything there with all the plastic, all the protection. But it does say, the last of the classic Universal monsters, the Gilman, debuted in Universal's black and white 3D film, Creature from the Black Lagoon in 1954. Beautiful year. Oh, you had to be there. Had to be there. Directed by Jack Arnold. Written for the screen by Arthur Ross and Harry Essex, the movie was inspired by a real-life legend that stuck with producer William Allen. Half-human, half-fish creatures haunting the depths of the Amazon. Actress and animator Millicent Patrick created the iconic Gilman design, while the suit was constructed by Jack Kevin and worn by actors Ben Chapman for land scenes and Rico Browning for aquatic sequences. And he died not too long ago. With the breathtaking underwater photography and sci-fi myth-making for the atomic age, Creature from the Black Lagoon captured the imaginations of a new generation of Universal Monster fans. An enduring influence on modern storytelling, Creature lives on as an essential ecological fable with a beloved figure as the heart of its conflict, the missing link between man and the natural world. And a lot of the Universal Monster stories were, trouble. It was like the Wolfman. He didn't want to be bad. He didn't want that curse on him. Frankenstein knew he was a made monster. The Creature just wants to be left alone. Leave him in the water. But it's man getting involved, and we saw that with the Creature. and many others over the years from the Universal Monsters. But now I'm going to try to take this out and see what we got. We got some big, heavy trays here. There's some serious stuff going on with this one. Very, very cool. And man, holy cow, you could easily get high or get knocked out of this one. Amazing smells right from the factory. Smells like the Gilman is what it smells like, I think. Very cool, though. You do get the big bass here. You get all of that. Oh, my goodness. A lot going on. A lot going on here. I forgot how deluxe this pack was. It's not just the creature. It's a lot of accessories along the way with the creature. So I'm going to take this offline, get this all out of the package. We'll be back talking all things creature from the Black Lagoon. All right, let's dive into the creature from the Black Lagoon from Mondo. There's a lot to digest here, but you could also call this the Revenge of the Creature edition. A bit of a 2-in-1, you hardcore guys. You got to buy multiples of these, but you can do different looks from the different movies. I think that's a pretty cool idea, giving you the most bang for your buck right here. So we're here for that. But now we're going to dive into everything. Let's start off with some of these stands, some of these bases first. We got the traditional, I guess not really traditional, but the new wave of stands we've been getting from Mondo. I think we saw this stand first with Buzz Off. At least that's the first time we saw it on this channel. You get the nice clamp right here at the top. Fits in almost like a screw. It's like a thread, and you just screw it right in there. Very much going to hold your figures here. A little bit more secure. You get a little bit of movement there. Obviously back and forth, side to side. But cool to get a deluxe flight stand. I'm going to put this off to the side here, as that is take up a lot of room. But we've seen flight stands before. Now, we do get a very cool stand right here, a throwback stand that reminds me of the Aurora model kits once upon a time. We've talked about those on the channel before. We've seen my dad's that he passed down to me, I guess, in my collection. You guys have seen that here on the channel. And we got that going on here. This nice little stand. Very, very cool. I am using this all day long over that stand. Nothing against that stand, but this one works with the creature so well. Now, you have to plug a few pieces in. You got to plug the rock in. There's 3 little, I guess, weeds, whatever, grass, I guess. Then you got the big grass in the back, and then you got the twig back here, the broken wood from a tree. You get that all plugged in. You get the beautiful ocean waves here, and then you get some of the sandy beach, some rock formation, but a nice base here for the creature. Brings it back to that Aurora model kit once upon a time. So very, very cool to see that. And with this does go some scenery additions. You do get a turtle. Once again, a turtle you can put with other toy lines if you want to. So you could use that. But you can put the turtle in here, and then you got a big old snake going on. Looks like he's ready for the Jake the Snake collection. But you can put him laying in here in the water. You can have him resting up there on top of the tree branch. Just a little bit to add the atmosphere of where the creature lives and all of his friends that are around him. But a very cool piece of business. This is how I'm going to be using the creature. Then we continue on. We get a little base. I thought this was a nice little touch here. You get the harpoon gun. We remember that, of course. But you get to display the harpoon gun if you want to as well. You got a little stand for it. Looking very cool. A nice harpoon gun. You know exactly what this is. A little bit sharp on the end there. But looking good. I thought this was a nice attention to detail. Take up some space in your collection, but it is some nice detail with that one, of course. Now, diving into some of the other accessories before we dive into the figure. We do get a little shackle, a little chain action. They caught the Gilman. You slap this around him, put this around his ankle, tie him down if you want to. I don't think I'm going to use this for mine. I want my creature to be free. That's what I want him. But it does look good. It is a nice chain, nice accessory once again. We do get that skeleton hand. Remember, of course, in the first movie where they found this out there on the boat. They're like, what the heck is this? And you know that there was more to the party when we saw this. But we've seen this in almost every single creature figure we've got from all different toy makers. Very iconic piece of business, that skeleton creature hand. And then we continue on here. Speaking of hands, we do got the 2 catcher mitt hands right out of the package. You get 2 very similar ones over there as well. Choose your own hand adventure, I guess. But nice claws on here. Once again, you got the catcher's mitt going on. Heck of a catcher right there. We haven't seen that since the young Benito Santiago Jr., I believe. Or what? Pudge Rodriguez, top and farther from the couch. Always shouting out Pudge Rodriguez. He loves him. You were a Texas Ranger guy. And I guess. But looking good in the hand department for those extra hands. But now things get really interesting with this creature, as we do get a chest piece here. Now, you do get swappable chest pieces. If you want to make it the Revenge of the Creature, you can do that. To me, a little bit overkill. I don't know. Is it? Is it like a young Bobby Blitz? Maybe. Shout out to Bobby Blitz. Shout out to Dee Dee Vernie. Of course, we like Dee Dee over there as well. Check out his rockabilly stuff. But I do like the chest piece swappage here. I guess it's thrown in extra value. You want to make the Revenge of the Creature or the Creature. I think most people just want a Creature. I don't get too worked up about which one I have, but I think most people prefer the original. That makes sense. But you do got the choice here with the chest, just easily removable. You just plug and play if you want to. So another cool little feature here with this one, and one we haven't got from Mondo in the past. So I like some of that, and you're going to see as we get into this, very different than our average Mondo, comparing it to the Masters of the Universe, for example, which we unbox a lot of on the channel. So we got some differences here. But let's dive into the head sculpt department. And I guess we'll start with the head out of the package here. Now, I wish there was a movable jaw. Now, the Universal Monster Edition from NECA had the movable jaw. No movable jaws on any of these. So I do feel that is a little bit of a miss. Much like a skeleton, the Creature, you can really depict extra emotion out of that with a movable jaw. But not the case on this one here. You do got those crazy eyes, of course. You got the gills on the side, bald head, perfect green skin tone. When I close my eyes, think of the Creature, this is the skin tone I think of. He does got the two eyes, got a very fishy-like mouth. Always reminds me of like an alien. And I guess you could say in a lot of ways he is almost like an alien in some ways. But looks good. Like that alien from Enemy Mine, I always bring that up. Was it Lou Gossett Jr.? Is that who played him in there? It looks like that. He has that face kind of going on. And I wonder if they grabbed any of that stylization from the Creature, but it reminds me of that a little bit. Now, no real movement on the head here. That is a little bit disappointing as well. Now, this does remove, and the power of magnets do compel us a little bit. It just locks right in there, so you get a little magnet. It's going to hold tight. You're not going to have any issues, but it's not your traditional pull and play head like we get with Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, you name it. It does have the power of magnets here, and it takes the shoulders and everything. Now, there is no head movement at all, but you just plug and play like so. Now, the second head we get, I guess we'll dive into this one, a little bit more Revenge of the Creature. You got a little bit different eyes. That's the big difference. It does got a couple of extra chins there. This is a Creature that's been eating good. He's been at that KFC buffet, all belly up to the buffet. Somebody find me a KFC buffet. They're still out there, but not in my area anymore. But boy, back in college, that was the place to go. But looking good as far as the head goes. Not a lot of personality, that straight on look. Once again, no head movement, anything like that out of there. And the magnets do compel us. But I do like this head. But once again, going to go back to the original Creatures where I want to be. But not bad if that is your thing. And then the third and final head is very interesting as it does come in a base. So you can display one of these extra heads if you want to. I like that option. I wish we had two of these stands so you could display each one. And that's one of the hallmarks from Mondo. We get a lot of good head. And everybody likes good head, Todd McFarlane. But Mondo gives us a lot of good heads, 4, 5 sometimes even. It would be great to be able to display all of those instead of having to make the tough decision. I'm going to choose that one. The rest are going into storage in a baggie. It just feels weird, especially when we pay so much for these figures. I would love to see like posts to display all the extra heads around the character. And we get that a little bit here, at least for one of the heads with the Creature. Now, this comes on a black base here. The body I thought was going to be removable. It is not, but the head is removable. So you can choose which head of the 3 extras or 2 extras that you want to display on here. You really get to make your choice. This one looking very good. Once again, a little closed on the mouth, black eyes. This is probably what I think of after the first head. This is probably my second favorite head here. I like those black soulless eyes. Something about looking at a Creature with pure black eyes. You're looking into trouble is what you're looking into. And it looks that way. He does got the skin, all of that. I was going to say is the chest. The chest piece is not removable on this one. So I thought you could maybe move him back and forth. Not the case there, but this does stick on there, is going to display nice. I don't know why you'd put this in a baggie. You could even use this as a separate display somewhere else. It's just like one of those busts you used to buy. And they used to have Universal Monster busts once upon a time. I don't know if it was like Bowen Collectibles or something had them, but it kind of reminds you of this. You can have your Creature set up and put this somewhere else if you want to. So not a bad piece of business. Wish we could have got one more of these stands. Would have been nice to see, but not there. But now we're going to dive into the Gilman himself. And I'm going to go with the original head out of the package just to make it feel more like a little bit of a figure here. But diving into the Gilman, it continues. This isn't your traditional Mondo, once again, like in the Masters of the Universe, as you got a very soft body here. It almost reminds you of, if you've been dealing with Marvel Legends lately, like the Maximum Hulk, you got some of that squishy plastic on here. And the joints are not being shown. It's all pinless. It's all underneath the I was going to say fabric, but I guess the plastic in this case. Now, it does worry me a little bit as we do see plastic degrade over time. I am hopeful this doesn't degrade. Like, I worry that if I bend the elbow here and you got a little bit of bend in the plastic, if I leave it in this position for a year, will the plastic crack on us? Will it start disintegrating? I hope that's not the case, but I don't know. And I don't know if anybody will know until that time does happen. But I do like the pinless nature here. It looks amazing. But I worry about the quality of the plastic, the squishy plastic. Like I said, we've seen some figures start to disintegrate over the years that use similar material. This being Mondo, have to imagine it's going to be a little bit more high end. Once again, I hope that is the case. But the joints are not visible. They're all under the plastic, the soft rubber suit plastic across the board on this one. Very squishy, very nice. Dare I say it could be maybe the exact material the creature was made out of? Yeah, I probably better not say that because I don't think that's the case. But it does look good. Now, you do get the green body throughout here, green skin tone. We know that with the creature. Little dark wash over the top. He's got abs for days. Abs for days. He's been working that. Oh, he's swimmer's body. We know how it goes. Little squishy there in the tummy, though, of course. You do get the catcher's mitt hands once again. Now, a little bit looser than I would like on these hands. They're not flopping around too much, but they do move very easily. Hands going to be removable, as we do know, just like the head, and the head attached via magnets once again. Besides that, you do get the spine of the creature here. You get all that there, helping him going through the water. He's got them on the forearms as well, down onto the back of the feet, and the feet looking very cool. You got those big toes, and then you got those big nails at the end. Somebody get this guy a pedicure. Somebody take care of him. Who knows? Same thing on the hands. You get the long nails. Now, articulation on him. Arms do go all the way around. There you go. You got to move it out a little bit at the shoulder. Now, very ratchety, very good quality, it feels like. I just hope it doesn't have problems in the future because there's no fixing it. It's behind the plastic, but you do get the shoulders up and down all the way around. Seemingly double jointed elbows inside there. Once again, I do worry about that bend in the plastic, though. Hands removable back, forth, side to side. We talked about the head already. Nothing really, a little bit of waist there, not a ton though, because you're going to be limited by the whole spine and the scales on the back there. You're going to be limited by that, but you do get a little bit of movement. You do get a little bit of side to side. And as we know with these Mondo figures, they always walk the fine line between statue and action figure. This one is no different. Leg, a little bit of legs up, single jointed knee maybe. Very ratchety, you can hear it. Very squeaky. Ankles back, forth, side to side, up and down, and then you get some ankle movement. So really akin to a statue, and I think to be safe, as much as I'd like to have him in a dynamic pose, bug up for the catcher's mitt or something, maybe going up for a pop fly, probably not going to do that because I do worry about this. I'll let somebody else be the guinea pig if it does ruin the figure, as once again, these are very expensive figures. We work very hard for our money. We want these figures to hold up, and that's what I'm going to do. Not sure on this plastic. I would have to imagine, like most action figures, keep them out of sunlight, keep them in the darkness, keep them in a basement like I do if you can, because this one, a little bit dangerous. If the light's shining on it, it could fade. You never know how the plastic might react over time. And once again, a very expensive figure. This isn't a $30 Marvel Legends. This is a couple $100s in an action figure. So it's for the heavy hitter collectors is what this is. Not for everybody. Barely for me, but I'm a creature fan. If they made all the Universal monsters, I don't think I'd be diving into all of them. Maybe the Wolfman, they could twist my arm, but the creature is a must-have for me. And I missed out on the black and white and regular edition of the creatures of the past, which I still wouldn't turn down. If I found a good deal on those, I would pick those ones up. But I had to have the new shiny creature for my display. And I'm very happy it came this time of year, right around Halloween, where we're celebrating a lot of Halloween stuff between both of my YouTube channels. Check out Kyle Peterson 2.0. You're going to have like 25, 26, something like that, Halloween unboxings. And then you'll have some on the main channel, like this one as well. But a lot of fun in this Mondo. No hole in the foot, anything like that either. Does got the Mondo logo. You do got a little bit of a design on the feet. I do like that. But besides that, it is the creature. An interesting take from Mondo, much different than our Masters of the Universe style figures, which we usually unbox. So it's nice to see Mondo doing some things differently. It'll be interesting to see if any of this technology, any of these changes carry over to Masters in the future. And speaking of them, I also got Evil Lynn and Tila Green Goddess Edition, which we'll be unboxing on the channel as well. Got all three of those on the exact same day. So eating good in the Mondo neighborhood is what we're doing as of late. But the creature, A+ for me. I do have some worries about the joints and the plastic, and I do wish the head had a movable jaw and a movable head back and forth. Not the case here, but besides that, you know what you got. It is the creature. Very cool, very deluxe. Wish my dad was here to unbox this one with me. He would get a kick out of this. I'll have to show him later. have to show him later. But there it is, Mondo, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Be very interested to hear your take on this one. Is it a pickup, pass, long game, no game, not so sure game? What do you think about this one? And I guess most people probably the pass game at this point, is this was a timed edition. Your best bet's going to be eBay for this if you're after it. And as I said earlier, I have a feeling this will be a very expensive figure. It already is expensive, but I think years to come, we'll see this one really skyrocket in price, like we see a lot of Universal Monster stuff. So we'll have to stay tuned to that as well. But there it is, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel. Check out Patreon YouTube channel memberships for even more content if that is your thing. Sir Paul 64 the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which conveniently enough is the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available where podcasts are found with videocast on YouTube. So for the Creature from the Black Lagoon, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?